What is up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Before we get going on everything, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're nearing 3,000 subscribers, and we thank every single one of you who have been showing support since the start. Or if you just subscribed recently, doesn't matter. We appreciate you all the same. But we got Thanksgiving. We got some exciting games to break down. We got Chicago and Detroit. We got Miami and Green Bay. We got Dallas and New York Giants. So we're going to break things down quicker than usual because it's not one game like we normally have for these. It's 3 games, and then give you guys a parlay at the end. So make sure you stay tuned. Welcome in, everybody. Like I said, happy Thanksgiving. JJ, how we feeling?
I'm feeling thankful for 3 games that might just put me to sleep, but wake up with some money in my pocket.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the games we're going to have to watch is Drew Lock / Tommy DeVito against Cooper Rush, and that's the 4:30 game, but who knows? We still might get some excitement. I don't think either of these teams are really good enough, or quarterbacks at least are good enough to pull away. So it should still be competitive. But we'll start things with the Detroit and Chicago game since that's the first one on the slate. And there's some interesting things to talk about. David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Neither of them are out, but neither of them are officially active either. Both of them seem to be dealing with something. Even if they are playing, I do expect some limitation in usage for both of them, which means Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams should get an uptick in usage. And one thing I do want to mention is that the Chicago Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL against defending play action, which if anybody's watched the Lions play football, that is something they utilize very heavily, and that's going to favor Sam Laporta and Jameson Williams pretty heavily. But that's really all I have to mention on the Lions side. JJ, if you have anything else to add there before I get to the Bears.
I mean, there's not much to talk about there. It's just play action. Maybe who else is out for Detroit? You said Reynolds, right? Oh, defense.
Oh, Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
On the offense side, Khalif Raymond's out. That should be a big boost for Tim Patrick, for anybody that's wondering there.
Yeah, I think they do connect with a deep ball here. I think it's a perfect time to take a chance there.
100% agree. I don't know if they have lines for him yet. I actually forgot to check that, but they give us a cheeky 17.5 line receiving yards line for Tim Patrick. Take that with confidence. His route share should go up here. And with Amon-Ra not being 100%,
21.5,
21.5, I'd still take that. I think I still like that.
You might as well just ladder it, to be honest.
Being limited, potentially even out, who knows? Khalif Raymond being out, he'll get all the 3 wide receiver sets without doubt. So that's a sneaky spot for anybody who wants an extra play in that. But that's not one of the plays we got in that one. Before I get to the SGP from that side, we'll talk about the Bears real quick. Obviously, new offensive coordinator Shane Waldron got fired 2 games ago. And one of the big changes has been the passing game has kind of switched to a lot of low A-dot, quick throws. And the offense has looked a lot better for it. It's favored Keenan Allen pretty heavily. Rome Odunze's gotten a higher first read share, but DJ Moore's gotten a lot more design plays. Rashawn Johnson's been getting a little bit more usage. DeAndre Swift's route share has been going down pretty heavily, only 35% of routes last game against a Lions team that doesn't allow pass attempts to running backs, so not very good for him. I don't know if you have anything else to add there, JJ.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams just doesn't like Rome because I think last game I seen a stat saying 15 of his 120 air yards were catchable. That's ridiculous. He doesn't even have a chance to catch the ball. Like, what is he supposed to do? So that first read share just means nothing if he's not catchable.
Yeah, bro. What's so tough in watching how Odunze and him work off each other is it's never a normal pass play to Odunze. It's if you break out of the pocket and you're running, Odunze's first thought is to just turn and go upfield, and that's the one that Caleb Williams is always looking for. But just like a normal play where he just sits in the pocket and launches a 12-yard pass, it's never Odunze. Never. It's always the scramble drill, and that's always going to be the lowest percentage throw that you can have if you're not named Patrick Mahomes. So I don't understand what's going on there. I don't know if they just said, hey, Rome, that's your role, deal with it, or if there's something we're missing. But I think Keenan Allen and DJ Moore are the safe ones in that offense.
Yeah.
So the 2 that we like in that game for the SGP, at least part of the parlay that we're going to show later, Lions were buying a -6.5, and Caleb Williams 25 rush yards. And the reason for the Lions side, the Bears just had an OT game, and not only do they have a short Thursday week, it's an early Thursday game. So they only have 3 days of rest and they're playing in the morning. Not good. I think the record for when you face a team that has that happening is like 29-7. If you're at home, it's like 20-3 or something ridiculous. And the Lions themselves, with Dan Campbell as the coach, are 46-18 against the spread. It's a good spread team against a team that's on a short week as well. But after an OT game, divisional game. Yeah, they played the Vikings. It reeks disaster for Chicago. We bought a couple points. It was 9.5. We bought it to 6.5 because of that key touchdown number, just in case, since it's going to be a bigger parlay. And as far as Caleb Williams goes, the Lions don't do well against rushing quarterbacks. Pretty much anybody that has an actual rushing yards line has gone over it against the Lions. And because they do bring pressure, they do play man coverage, which opens up a lot of rush attempts for quarterbacks on the scramble drill, which is good for Caleb Williams. 25 yards is life for him. Next game, New York Giants and Dallas Cowboys. JJ, what are you seeing in that game?
Yeah, simply put it, the Giants are not good at defending the deep ball. It's just I looked at their DVOA on FTN, and we always talk about Jacksonville being horrible against the deep ball. So if you look at the percentage for DVOA, Jacksonville's at 82%. That's second worst in the league. That's a positive 82%, which means it's bad. Negative is always good for the defense. Now, when you look at the Giants, who are the worst in the league, they're at 128%. That is beyond horrible. That is atrocious. Now, I looked at last
Unfortunately, the
week.
person throwing the ball is Cooper Rush. That's the only issue. But
That's the only thing. But he's been doing a good job trying to find ways to win the game. So, I mean, he's had some decent completions. I think he's had what you said, back-to-back games. He's gone over 32.5 longest completion.
Yeah, I think he
Something
had
like
a
that.
60-yarder 2 games ago and a 40-yarder last game.
Yeah, and I think the Buccaneers completed like 4 passes to go for over 30 plus yards. So could definitely attack with the deep ball here. I mean, what else are you seeing?
I like Rico Dowdle in this matchup. I like both running backs, if I'm being honest. I don't believe in either rushing defense. Mike McCarthy's made it pretty clear that he no longer cares for Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. He just wants to get Rico Dowdle touches. He said, even in his press conference, he said, I like where Dowdle's touches are at, 18 to 20. He gave an exact number. Whether it's targets or rush attempts, he wants 18 to 20 plays to Rico Dowdle. That's plenty of volume in a good matchup like this. And on the other side, Tyrone Tracy, everybody's wanted to get the hype train on him for so long. Everybody loves him. And he feels like we haven't gotten that Tyrone Tracy, that matchup that he needs to blow up. This is it. This is the matchup you want for a blow up game. And like he's an explosive player in a divisional game. The lights are going to be the brightest in a good matchup. I just think it makes a lot of sense. No Daniel Jones, obviously. Now Tommy DeVito might not even be playing. So you're on your third string quarterback. Whether or not you think Drew Lock should have been the second string, that's a different conversation. But they're probably going to want to baby him a little bit with the run game. And they need to get the run game going. They've just gotten obliterated. They got obliterated last week, so they couldn't use him. This week, they probably can. And if they want to get Malik Neighbors some shots going downfield, they probably need to get the running game open to do so. I think both teams are just going to be utilizing the run game pretty heavily here. I think this is going to be a slower moving game for two teams that want to get the run game moving. I think it's going to milk some clock. And I don't think either team's going to be good enough to pull away either. This could very easily be an ugly 2017, 2014 game. I don't want to plant my flag on which team ends up winning, but I don't think it's going to be a big win on either side. That's really all I have for that side, or I guess both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably my least favorite game here. There's not much to it, but you kind of summed everything up.
Yeah, if anybody wants to take a nap during these 3 games, that's the game to do it. But the 2 that we like in that game for the SGP, Giants plus 7.5. We bought it from plus 3.5. Like I said, if either team wins this game, I don't think it'll be by more than one score. And I think it's just going to be a slower moving game. I think as long as the Giants don't abandon the run, I think they can do more than enough to keep it close enough. And the other side of it was Rico Dowdle, 70 plus rushing plus receiving. If he's getting 18 to 20 touches, he's going to need some pretty shit efficiency not to hit this line. And a good matchup, as long as we get normal efficiency, this should be sweat free. Last game. We got one more game.
Yep.
Green Bay Packers, Miami Dolphins. Before I give you guys a single stat, and JJ, I haven't told you this either. I'm surprised it hasn't been talked about more on social media. Thursday game for Tua Tagovailoa, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what his last two Thursday night games were?
No, one was against Buffalo. Sorry ass game.
You want to know what the one before that was?
Before Buffalo, Miami. They were playing. Damn, I can't remember.
2 years ago. That's your hint.
2 years ago?
Everybody was throwing a fit because it was a short week after something else happened the first week or the week before.
I mean, he's always getting knocked out, so.
Yep, that was the first one where everybody's like, he needs to retire. Both of the last two Thursday night football games were the two bad concussions that he had.
Oh, so
I don't care
are we
how
putting money
mentally
on him getting another concussion?
I don't care how mentally strong you are. That fucks up your mental, dude. Like, he's gonna be going to that game no matter how much he says he's fine. He's gonna be fucking terrified. I love Tua. I believe in Tua. This is fucking terrifying if you're trying to put your faith in Tua. So
I mean, hey, we just gotta blame you if it happens, right?
oh god. I obviously I hope I'm wrong, but God,
Yeah.
every time he gets out of the pocket, bro, my ass cheeks are gonna be clenched. I'm telling you right now. Every time he
Hopefully, he
gets
tries to
sacked,
make no tackles.
yeah, bro, it's gonna be something to watch. But let's get into some actual football. So the first thing, Green Bay's zone run defense is not good at all. And for anybody that has ever heard of the name Mike McDaniels, you know that's all he loves to do in the run game. So the run game should get going for Miami pretty well. Green Bay is very bad against the slot, but Miami doesn't have a traditional slot player. In this case, it's going to be Jonnu Smith. You could bet on Jonnu Smith. I think it's fine. He's been doing well. It's a good matchup for him. I think eventually the shoe's going to drop on him, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's this week on a short week, especially after all the talk has been about Tyreek and Waddle just not seeming to be too active in this offense.
They're just there for the vibes.
But like, how long is that going to last? So I don't want to play the Jonnu Smith, Tyreek, Waddle game. But if I were, Jonnu's probably in the best spot. As far as the other side of the field, we're looking at Green Bay. No Romeo Doubs. Should mean more Dontavian Wicks routes. Good for Dontavian Wicks. They don't do well against the deep ball. So, again, good for him. Good for Watson. And, I mean, that's really all the details that I had to share. I don't know what else you got for me there.
Yeah, really, I just want to target the deep portion of the field. You know, they've given up explosive pass plays. They are beatable. I mean, this defense is healthier now, so it's been getting a little bit better, but it's still an area of the field to target here. And I think play action, the deep pass, I think you could definitely target Watson or Dontavian Wicks here. Just Wicks needs to actually catch the ball.
Yeah,
that's about it.
No kidding. And the only other thing is Josh Jacobs has been getting a shit ton of carries. Again, short week for him. It's hard to bank on running backs doing that again. When the coach was asked about it, if he thinks he's going to get 26 touches again, he basically said, we're going to run him until we can't anymore. Basically saying he's not committing to it, but he's also not saying no. So as long as Josh Jacobs is running well and looking healthy, he's going to keep getting touches. But LaFleur is also, he is a quarterback's coach at his core. So on a short week with his running back getting a bunch of usage, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like, yeah, we're just going to throw it 40 times this week. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I know it's not very helpful for anybody that's listening, but the truth is, I'm not going to sit here and tell you something just to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what I think is actually happening. If there's not an edge, I'm going to tell you there's not an edge. And that's just how it is in some scenarios. But that's all I got on the Green Bay side.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Green Bay, I think I read somewhere, was it Cody Alexander on Twitter? He was talking about how Matt LaFleur likes to run like a lot of 3 receiver sets, which is going to spread out the defense here. And they do usually do a pretty good job running out of that. And the Dolphins don't usually do a good job defending that in the run game. So could be some quick hitters in the passing game as well. Because I think Miami usually tends to like get pressure on the quarterbacks and blitz a little bit, but I don't know if that's really going to work here. If they're going to be able to spread them out and hit them with quick hitters in the passing game, that's just going to make it tough on the defense. So I mean, outside of that, there's not much else I could really find here.
The only thing to add really is the whole narrative about Tua being bad in cold weather. But I think this game has the
I mean, I
opposite.
feel like that was already implied at this point. It's like ingrained in everyone's head.
Yeah. I think this game is the opposite of the Giants-Dallas game. The Giants-Dallas game, we for the most part, we know where like how the offenses are going to be ran, the defensive weaknesses, but we also know it's going to be ugly just by the quality of talent. I think this is the opposite. I think there's so many opportunities we don't know where it's going to come from. It's going to be super entertaining, but we also don't know where to put the money on. So it gives you a nice mixed bag for your Thanksgiving games if you want to switch things up. But the only thing we had for the parlay in that game was A-Chain over 89.5 rushing plus receiving yards. We don't have a game pick in that side. But the read there is that he's over in, I think, 9 of 12 or 10 of 13 games with Tua, where he has at least 10 rush attempts. One of the games was last games against the Patriots where he missed, Rams earlier this season, and Bills in Week 18 last year when the Bills were an elite run defense. So I'd be willing to bet that he goes back to getting 100 plus again. And yeah, all those three together on FanDuel, they're offering a no sweat token, and you can get plus 829. That's what we got at least. We put half a unit on it, and I think the no sweat token goes up to $25. So we put 50. If it misses, we get 25 of that 50 back. Doesn't really matter because it's not missing, so you can just go ahead and lock it in and tail. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that we smacked the last primetime light plus 199. We're going a little bit bigger,
Make sure to update
but
the units.
yeah, we got to update the units apparently because people are bitching in the chat, but you can just go check the units because we are up on the season. We're up like 12 units in the last month or something. So yeah, go ahead and tail this. Trust us. Trust the reason that we've been giving you, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, any love that you guys show, even in the comments, is always appreciated. Other than that, have a great Thanksgiving. Tell all your families we said happy Thanksgiving. Eat so much food, eat so much turkey, and we will see you guys on the next show on Sunday. Good luck, everyone.